Hello friends, today we are going to discuss a small portion from module 5 which is named as curvilinear motion. So this is also a very simple topic. The material has already been shared through Google Classroom, please refer that. So here in this topic we need to study rotation motion basically. What is the difference between a translation motion and rotation motion. Okay, so in earlier module 4 we already know that for translation motion what are the equations we are used, equations of motion, namely v equal to u plus at, s equal to ut plus half at square, and v square equal to u square plus 2as. Actually curvilinear motion is very simple if we are thorough with translation motion and the equations of motion. So just like that we need to rename the translation motion components into rotary components. So that is the only thing we need to know here. So let us compare these equations. We need not study the derivation and all, we just need to know the equations. So let us compare and study. Suppose we know s equal to ut plus half at square for linear translation. So the corresponding rotation component will be, s is the distance traveled, right? So distance, or in other words we can tell translational or linear distance traveled, right? So the corresponding angular component will be, circular component will be angular distance, right? So angular distance or displacement is referred to as the angle covered or the radians covered. So for s the corresponding rotational term will be theta. For u is the linear velocity, so there will be an angular velocity. So initial angular velocity will be omega 0, time remains the same, half a is the uniform linear acceleration, so alpha will be uniform rotational acceleration, uniform circular acceleration, t remains the same, and the second v equal to u plus at, where v is the final velocity, so here it is final angular velocity, and v square equal to u square plus 2as, it will be termed as omega 1 square equal to omega 0 square plus 2 alpha theta. Okay, I hope it is clear. Now quite often this omega won't be given as such, but the speed will be given in rpm. Rpm is the rotation per minute. We know the conversion formula. That conversion formula is written here. Having known rpm, how to find out the omega? Omega equal to 2 pi n by 60, where n is the rotations per minute. Be careful about that. It is rotation in minutes, per minutes. Okay, so let's do a simple problem. Basically the angle of rotation of a body is given by the equation theta equal to 2t cube minus 5t square plus 8t plus 6, right? Here the angular distance theta equal to a function of time, right? We need to find out the angular velocity. So just think, if the same question is asked in a linear way, s equal to 2t cube minus 5t square plus 8t plus 6, and we need to find out the linear velocity, the velocity. How do we find out from s? We differentiate it and find out, right? So similarly, differentiate theta, equation for theta, we get the angular velocity. Now we require the angular acceleration. How do we find out? We differentiate it, and we need to find out it for specifically time equal to 0 and time equal to 4 seconds. So what we do is substitute the answers with time equal to 0 and 4 seconds. So here the answer is elaborated here. Theta equal to 2t cube minus 5t square plus 8t plus 6. Angular velocity omega equal to the differential 6t square minus 10t plus 8. Angular acceleration equal to d omega by dt, that is the second differential, 12t minus 10. Okay, then when t equal to 0, what are the values? Omega equal to 8 radian per second, alpha equal to minus 10 radian per second square. What does this negative sign infer? The negative sign shows that it is not acceleration, it is deceleration. Okay, t equal to 4 seconds also we give, and we get answer. So that was a very simple question. Now the second question, a body is rotating with an angular velocity of 5 radian per second. So angular velocity omega equal to 5 radian per second. after 4 seconds, time equal to t equal to 4 seconds, angular velocity of body becomes 13 radian per second. So actually 5 radian per second was omega 1 and 13 radian per second was omega 2, or omega 0 equal to 5, omega 1 equal to 13, whichever notation you use your own way. Determine the acceleration. So we are given two velocities and time. We need to find out the acceleration. How do we do that? We have the equations of motion. V equal to u plus at. Similarly, omega 1 equal to omega 0 plus alpha t, and we need to find out alpha. That is also very simple question. Now the next question, the rotor of an electric motor is rotating at a speed of 720 rpm. So what is 720? It is the rpm. N equal to capital N equal to 720. When steam supply is suddenly cut off, it is observed that 5 minutes are required for the rotor to come to rest. Assuming uniformly accelerated motion, determine angular acceleration and total number of revolutions. So this is also yet another simple question. So here an electric motor is actually rotating based on a steam generator. Okay, so the steam supply is cut off, so definitely the motor is going to come to rest. So they are telling us when it is cut off, it is initially at a speed of 720 rpm, and when it is suddenly cut off, time equal to 5 minutes, and it comes to rest, that is final angular velocity equal to 0. What is the acceleration they are asking us? How do we find out? We know the v1 or omega 1 equal to 720 rpm, corresponding to 720 rpm, and omega 2 equal to 0, time equal to 5 minutes. Find out the acceleration. So here omega 1 is given as rpm. How do we find out omega 1 then? We know omega equal to 2 pi n by 60. Therefore initial omega equal to 75.4, time equal to 5 minutes. Please be careful to always convert it to seconds. Time equal to 5 minutes equal to 300 seconds. Omega 1 or the final angular velocity equal to 0, and we apply the first principle, v equal to u plus at. We get angular acceleration equal to 0.25 minus 0.251. Actually, what does this minus sign shows? It is deceleration, or it is going to rest. Now what else we have to find out? The total number of revolutions. What is the total number of revolutions? So to find out the total number of revolutions, we just apply S equal to ut plus half at square. What is the distance covered? We will find out. S equal to ut plus half at square. When converted to rotary terms, instead of S, it is theta equal to omega 0 t plus half alpha t square. We know everything everything else, and therefore S or theta comes to 11325. Unit is radian. So what does it mean? The total radians covered is 11325. That is theta equal to 11325. We know that 2 pi radian means 1 revolution, right? 2 pi radian means 1 revolution. Therefore 1 radian means 1 by 2 pi revolution. 1 radian means, should I write? I will write. If it is not clear for you, I will write. 1 radian means 1 by 2 pi revolution, right? How many radians we have here? 11325 radians. Therefore 11325 radian corresponds to 1 by 2 pi into 11325 revolutions. Therefore 1802.43 revolutions will be covered. Okay, so that is also a simple question. Now the next question, a flywheel rotating at 1500 rpm. So n equal to rpm, we know how to convert rpm into angular velocity, comes to rest. So this is the initial rpm, and final angular velocity equal to 0 with a constant angular deceleration is 100 seconds. That is the time equal to 100 seconds owing to friction and bearing. If the moment of inertia of the flywheel with respect to its axis of rotation is 12.5 kilogram meter square, determine friction couple that produces this angular deceleration. So here we need to find out something else actually, but we'll proceed as we already done. That is omega 1 is there, omega 2 is there, with available information we can find out the acceleration or angular acceleration alpha. It comes down to minus 1.571 radian per second square. We need to find out frictional couple or frictional torque. All these terms means the same. Here the only thing we need to think about is, for linear case, force is given as mass into acceleration, right? Now for rotary case, acceleration will be angular acceleration alpha. Instead of mass, the rotational component of mass is called moment of inertia I, and the rotational component of force or rotational equivalent of force is termed as torque or couple. Okay, frictional torque or couple T. Therefore T equal to I alpha. That is the basic equation we should know. That we need not by heart these all, because we already know F equal to ma. So here what we need to find out is frictional torque or frictional couple, or T we need to find out. We have we are supplied with I 12.5 kilogram meter square. Alpha we found out now, so we can find out the torque. So that is the question. So here T equal to I alpha, T equal to 12.5 into minus 1.571, T equal to minus 19.63 Newton meter. Okay, so we'll stop it there. Next class we'll be studying about plane rotation.